The latest addition to World of Tanks is here, and it is part of the update news video we've got for you guys today. So the first tank that we have is the new Alt Proto AMX-30, so the tier 8 French medium tank that was on World of Tanks PC, and of course they've now brought it onto World of Tanks console. And the key thing about this tank is that it is fast. This is a really mobile vehicle that I think will have a high skill cap, so players that have been experienced with the game are probably going to find this to be a better tank than maybe someone who's brand new because of a few factors, and we'll look into the stats of the vehicle. Of course you can see on screen right now what the actual vehicle looks like. I mean, it looks similar to the French tanks. It kind of looks more like a heavy tank in terms of the frontal armour of it being quite sloped and having that typical French plate on the top that's kind of angled in 3 directions. But yeah, really nice looking vehicle. And of course you can see the armour there, the turret armour being actually okay. But key thing about this tank is that it can go 65 kilometers an hour, which is really nice. And it also gets a power to weight ratio of 24.3, which is fairly substantial, so you're going to be able to get up to top speed. It might suffer with regard to its terrain resistances, so how well it can keep its top speed up when playing up in certain maps like Swamp, etc., and some of the maps that will be coming out. But yeah, either way, really looking forward to seeing how this thing plays. And of course I will be doing a full review of the tank when it does actually come out tomorrow. So this is on Tuesday. Of course, this video is uploaded on the Monday, and hopefully you guys do enjoy this thing when it does come into the game tomorrow about 10 o'clock GMT or 11 o'clock GMT. And of course, you can work that out in your own time zone. But yeah, good aim time, good accuracy. The only bad thing is that it gets 300 damage, and also the fact that the reload is almost 10 seconds. 10 seconds for 300 damage, meaning it only has 1857 damage per minute, which is fairly lackluster. I mean, with a lot of the perks that you can boost this up to probably about 2,500 damage per minute, which is nice, but it's still not the top end of tier 8 mediums, so it's kind of lackluster in that department. But it's still going to be very competitive because you'll be able to use the mobility to make up for the fact that some of the other mediums with higher damage per minute won't be able to get into a position to fire as this tank will. So you can kind of weigh it up, and of course you will do a full review of the tank and how it plays in game and whether it really does live up to what I'm saying here. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and of course you can subscribe to do that. And if you are enjoying the video so far, then please do like it, as it helps it spread to more people that might find it interesting if you do. Anyway, the Alt Proto AMX-30, the bundles, how much is it going to cost you? So this is the big question, and in fact it's actually a very cheap one compared to what we're used to in World of Tanks, and that's because it only costs 8,800 gold. I'm saying only in quotation marks, considering it's still going to cost you like £25, but for a brand new premium tank it's actually fairly cheap. So I'm wondering if Wargaming are trying to reduce the base cost. Of course it is a medium, so I'm not surprised. It's a tier 8, so I'm not that surprised, but it is nice to see a lower cost gold value for some of these new premiums, and yeah, that's kind of nice. But remember, it's still a lot of money, and I would highly wait to actually see the reviews from either, myself or someone else before you go out and spend the money, since you can then have a look, weigh it up, get a couple different opinions. Of course, my opinion is not the God's end. This is the best tank in the game or whatever. Go check out multiple reviews before you go and spend the money, as I would if I was going to spend my money on the game. So yeah, just keep your eyes peeled as to whether or not you think that the tank is going to suit your own playstyle. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's not going to be outrageously overpowered or anything because of that 300 alpha damage, which kind of limits it. I think it's going to be a high skill cap tank, so players that have been more experienced are going to find it much better than those who have kind of just jumped in, and it's not going to be limited by necessarily the tank itself, but more by the player within it. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what this thing is like in game. And then, of course, Wargaming have been releasing some premium tanks since it's the last chance for you to be able to pick these up. So the premium tanks are being retired from sale, so you can get them at a discount. Wargaming have been doing this over a period of time, so essentially they're removing a ton of vehicles from the premium tech tree as they've been trying to reduce this and then putting more bundles and stuff like that. I don't really know. I mean, my opinion is that they're probably just trying to remove them so that then they can like sell them in a bundle for more money than they would get on their own. But you know, I don't know if that is actually truly the case. They come up with some argument saying that previously there's too many premium tanks in the game, blah blah blah. But yeah, so there's a whole spiel as to why they're doing it, but I'm not entirely sure that is what the actual reasoning is. That's more of the kind of statement that they're trying to go with. Either way, the USSR. The key notable ones are the T-3488, they're getting rid of the Dreadnought KV-2, the SU-100Y, all of those being tanks I really enjoyed playing, the Slayer SU-152, but essentially they'll be on a 30% discount until March 13th, so you've got 2 weeks to be able to pick them up if you haven't already. Otherwise they will be going off of the premium tech tree and will only come around in bundles, so yeah, just keep an eye out for that. Then of course we've got Japan, they've got the Warlord Panther, China's got the Dragon Type 62, which I really like. The Czechoslovakia, I mean, I don't really like either of these. The Polish one, not really bothered about that. And then Mercenaries, they've got the Skullcap, the Absolutely Broken, the Boulder and the Banana Buster. Now the Absolution is the one I'd go for if I haven't got it already. It's a tier 6 heavy that actually has just spaced armor slapped all around it, and it's essentially similar to the Panzer V4, just nowhere near as fast and able to ram things. But yeah, still very, very good. And of course, yeah, them removing some more premiums in the game. Now, we've covered all of the premiums, but what about the actual update notes and what Wargaming have said will be coming within this next week? Because there are loads of operations that they usually come out with. So, of course, last week we had the Road to Swamp. It's still ongoing. Of course, once the Road to Swamp gets completed by everyone, we'll be able to get the Swamp map. So, yay, we have to wait another like 2 weeks until we can get a map that we haven't had for 2.5 years or 3 years or however long it's been since it was previously in the game. So brilliant idea that was. And of course the anniversary after party, they've got some bundles that are currently in the store. I mean, you know, it's up to you whether you buy them, but the weekend news, they had the first anniversary sale, so there was a load of bundles, blah blah blah, which you could pick up. And then next week, so this is the interesting stuff, we've got the new tank, the tier 8 French medium, that's got mobility and reliability in spades. Test alert, the community map is back in custom games, so this is the new map that Wargaming are developing. And of course, it's out for testing, so you can jump into custom games. Custom games right now are completely free forever, so they've made it completely free to use premium ammunition, consumables, anything that you use in custom games is free right now and forever. So that was a brilliant change. Definitely a big thumbs up from me to Wargaming, because this is something that was just like I mind blown as to why it was even costing anyone anything, but yeah, nice to see that they've actually changed that. And of course, the contract for the Lawgiver, so this is the mercenary vehicle, which you can pick up if you're really interested. I think it's a low tier premium from my memory, and I think it has like a little pea shooter. Don't take my word for it, of course you can check it out in game, but I'm not that interested in it, and it certainly wasn't an overpowered vehicle from my own memory. Name your price, so pick your multiplier. This cannot be changed after you pick. It's for 1 week. So essentially what they have now is a new operation where you can pick an XP multiplier. Now you can pick Commander XP, you can pick Tank XP, so Vehicle XP, or you can pick Silver. So if you pick one of them, you will get a percentage of extra XP and Silver, etc. in the game. So during this next week, you guys can go into your challenges tab, you click on the one that you want. For silver and tank XP, if you complete one task, you'll get 1.25 times XP. If you complete 2 of the tasks that are available in the challenges, you'll get 1.5 times XP and silver, or silver depending on which one you picked. And then if you complete 3 of them, you'll get double silver or double tank XP depending on which one you picked. And then if you pick Commander XP, if you complete 1 task, you'll get 1.5 times Commander XP. If you complete 2 tasks, you'll get 2 times Commander XP. And if you complete 3, you'll get 3 times Commander XP. So really nice to see in the game. And of course, for me personally, I think I would probably go with XP since I'm grinding through a ton of tank lines right now, since silver is fairly easy to get anyway. But remember, if you are in a silver deficit or you're a free-to-play player that hasn't got a premium account, then maybe going for the silver and then actually, I don't know what happened there, but if you go with the silver, and then what you can do is you can then go out and pay or play some of the Cold War vehicles that you own if you've got them from the season pass, etc., and you're going to be able to make a ton of silver in the game. So that's my recommendation. Of course, you can do whatever you want, and you can pick whatever you want if you're training a commander, whatever it is, just do what you want. But that's what I would suggest to someone. And then miscellaneous, there's they had last week's kind of congratulatory kind of battles, blah blah blah, nothing too interesting there. And of course, player requested number of bans this week. So there were 22 sanctions, varying ban lengths, and 2 permanent bans, thanks to players using the in-game reports feature. So apparently it does work, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's like bots or something like that. But yeah, clan tags. We are aware of sensitive or politically charged clan names. We do take these matters seriously, but we can't catch them all autonomously. Players continue to find ways that circumvent our blacklisted names, so we please ask, if you see an offensive clan tag or believe a clan tag to be offensive, please use the in-game report system. Alternatively, if you were unable to report them in-game, but were able to capture a screenshot, you can always send that through to T-Kane, and he'll gladly review the clan tag and then get it sorted if it is offensive, which I highly recommend you guys do. If they ever see it, the clan name has changed to R followed by a number, these are clans that have broken the clan rules, and next violation will see the clan disbanded. The support team don't give any of the top clans special treatment either, and if they break the rules, they will be disbanded. And this week 74 clans were renamed while 11 were disbanded. So yes, clans do get banned, or at least kind of disbanded and no longer available to be there. So yeah, interesting. And then probably the most interesting bit, the stream questions. Can you add an indicator for our tank's current HP near the reticle? We did have this come up and we had a debate on how we wanted to proceed with it, but this time they have shelved it. So no, there will not be for our current tank's current HP near the reticle, unfortunately. But I mean, it's not that big of a thing. Then there was, will we ever get the shell swap equipment for auto reloaders? Unfortunately, no. So it's not a thing. They do have it on PC, which is essentially intuition, which we used to have as a crew skill, but they changed it on console such that it's an equipment and it's not available to put on auto reloaders or auto loaders, blah, blah, blah. Can the silver urn for World War II co-op be looked at? As I'm losing silver above tier 4, we are not seeing a loss of earnings in World War II co-op, especially in the lower tiers, and things look as expected. So I'm guessing that you're just firing complete premium and using premium consumables and maybe don't have a premium account, which of course you're going to lose money since the World War II co-op has less silver earn than you do on the multiplayer because it's, you know, in easier mode to play. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. At the end of the game, could the minimap show the location of all tanks so that we could see where the last tank was hiding? So that's kind of interesting, maybe something we could put into the post-battle result screen, but this is why we have the replay system. So yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to just have a snapshot of the map in the post-battle result screen rather than having to go to the replay, because the replay system is it's just awful, to be honest with you. I mean, I never use the replay system. I can't even record the replay system because it's that bad that you cannot even see this, like the reticle of people. It just looks awful from a point of view of like, even when I've had an insane game and I wasn't capturing it using my external capture card, then yeah, I mean, there's no point in going into the replay system, and it's kind of pointless in the whole thing, other than to get a screenshot, which I can use for the thumbnail if I want to. Other than that, I don't really see a use to it, unless you were trying to review your own gameplay and what you did wrong, blah, blah, blah. But even then, the reticle's so bad, such that you can't actually see where the person was properly aiming, and that when you're aiming down the sights, you just see smoke everywhere when you fire, because it's essentially like an external camera in the internal of your tank, and it's not actually the true tank reticle as to where you were actually aiming and how it's played out. But yeah, kind of sucks, but there you go. How long until Swamp is playable? We will make it available as soon as possible, as soon as the goal is reached, so that will be in. Could we get some sort of ranking system implemented into our player accounts? We've thought about this, and we need to cater for new and veteran players, so it's sitting in our backlogs while we think about how to go to this. I'm assuming that this is to do with the a new player shouldn't come up against someone that's played 150,000 games at tier 6 because they're seal clubbing in their Hellcat, which they have 20,000 games in for some reason. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Probably could make it slightly easier for new players, but at the end of the day, they're gonna just hate it. If it's got to be an ease of playing, rather than just like, for your first 100 games you don't meet any veteran players, and then suddenly you're dropped in and you're like, oh well, now I'm stuffed because I've been learning how not to do it by playing in with new players, and then suddenly you get dropped in with how to actually play and you get stumped, and probably even more so than you would if you just started straight away. Will we ever get the post-battle result screen back where all the medal ribbons pop up? We do get that feedback a lot, and we know it's something you like, and we are planning on some sort of redesign of the post-battle result screen for the future. I mean, it's nothing too... I'm not that bothered about it myself, but I guess you guys are. Can we have a premium skin tech tree? This is a feature on our minds, and we're prioritising where to put this in our roadmap. So yeah, that would be cool. I want to see what skins are actually available, rather than having to just guess the tanks that they're available on. What will the premium contract be next month? So it's the Legion 59 pattern. Oh god. Wait, they give it out in the season pass, and then they're basically giving you the same tank in the season urn? I mean, hello? Anyone there? Literally no idea. Anyway, will we know if someone we reported gets a ban? No, they can't disclose that info due to privacy laws, but bans do happen. Don't worry. Any chance to get custom reticles added to the game? It's another backlog ticket for us as we prioritise other things first, but we are thinking of improvements to the reticle for the future. Basically, a lot of the user interface, a lot of the ease, like the stuff that people would actually be really pleased to get, they don't bother with because it doesn't make them any money, essentially, is the short answer. It's a business decision. Wargaming are a business. They don't actually really care about the fact that you want a new UI or an updated one, because it gets shoved in the background, and it's more of a corporate decision rather than a, yeah, this would actually be really good, and we know the players would really like this. I want to make that for them, but we're kind of forced into this. You have to go and make some more premium tanks, or you have to go and make some new sales, or whatever it would be. Essentially, that's what happens in World of Tanks, unfortunately. And it sucks because these are changes that would actually be really good for the long-term health of the game, but Wargaming are so short-sighted that never actually happens, ever. Genuinely never. And so we end up with botched updates and things that are just like, why is this not back in the game after 3 years of being out of the game? And everyone thought it was brilliant when they first had it, and then they remove it because they release a new update which is game breaking, and wow, it's going to change the game completely, and then it ends up actually just breaking the game, not be like game breaking, likely good. Yeah, I mean, that's my little rant, but it just annoys me with some of the decisions that they make, and it's clearly just literally economically viable decisions that just don't make sense. And sometimes you actually do have to make your game good before you try and sell it to people, because people won't play your game if it's not good. But, you know, I'm sure they make a shit ton of money anyway, so yeah, brilliant. Italian TDs in World War II, when? We would like to see them sometime this year. Can we swap out individual skills instead of having to do them all? We can follow up on this. I mean, can we swap out individual? Yeah, 100% agree. This is yet again another change that would be brilliant, but they're never going to do it because I don't even know. Maybe they like taking your 90 gold, which is like 2p of real money. Like, I have no idea. Could you reduce module cost in Cold War? Currently no plans, as the module cost is relative to the amount of silver you earn in Cold War. I mean, to be honest, I agree. The silver cost is basically the same as if you were playing World War II. It's just the, yeah, I don't think there's any problem. It does cost a lot, but you compare it like era to tier, they're basically the same. Can we get the view when we get destroyed to see what shell they fired and where it hit? It's a cool idea, and I see value in this as it can educate players. 100% agree, but yet again, I very much doubt Wargaming will ever come out with this, ever. So don't get your hopes up, even if it would be really, really good. Of course, that's like battle hits on PC. They already have it, but it's a mod because it's not actually in the game, and so someone else had to make it. Fortunately, console don't get mods because it's just, I don't know. I don't think it's possible, but there you go. When can we expect the hard case contract to return? Around the midpoint of this year. So, I mean, if you want a broken tier 9, then it's coming back. Can we get an option to increase the size of the minimap? So this was asked last week, and we have a ticket for that, so possibly. I mean, this would be like super nice. Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't have an option to make a small, medium and a large minimap for people that want to change it. Any multi-turret tank lines for the future? There, we do have at least one in mind. Interesting. So there'll be some more multi-turreted tanks coming in. And will we ever get True Vision back in World War II? No, it's something we tested, but we listened to the community, and TV has no place in World War II. Yay! Finally, boys. Finally. It only took them like 5 tests of pushing it down our throats, by the way, as well, when literally they... Basically, True Vision came into the game like, I want to say like 4 years ago. They were like, oh yeah, we've got this brand new feature. We really love it. And then like they tested it and everyone went, no, this is terrible. And then they tested it again and everyone went, no, this is terrible. And then they tested it again and were basically saying, we want to do this. And everyone went, no, it's terrible. And then they tested it again and went, oh no, it's terrible. And then they were like, oh, here's a new game mode called Cold War, and here's your True Vision shoved in that. So, yay. At least, brilliant. Fantastic. I love it. But, you know, that's the cynic in me. Hopefully today's video wasn't as salty. Maybe it was just salty. But, yeah, either way, I think it's just frustration with a lot of some of the decisions that get made, and I'm not blaming the developers. A lot of it is money driven, which sucks, but it's true. It just is. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. I get the ideas, but at the end of the day, you do have to please the players or your community or your audience who are playing the game, because if you keep just making like the same stuff, the game gets stale. And I mean, some of the core like concepts, like being able to change certain aspects of your HUD, are like something that Halo has done like back in the day on Xbox like original. So like, come on, the game is like, we expect a bit more in terms of like customization of your HUD, and I think it's really poor at the minute, as well as some of the other things that should just be in the game, and some of the stuff that had been taken out since update 6.0 because they needed to redo it, and it's been like 3 years now. like genuinely like 2.5 years, something like that. So it's a crazy amount of time for them not to have brought certain things back. And I think it does come down to the season passes, the season tanks, all of the Cold War content that they've been pushing out. Like, granted, they make a ton of like vehicles for the game, and that's something really good. But yeah, some of the kind of things that seem to be in the back burner that I would really love to see, that would actually be beneficial to everyone, just seems to kind of get thrown into the background more and more and more, especially as time goes on. Yeah, I'm just hoping that gets better. But yeah, I guess we can just hope, since there's nothing we can actually do about it. But yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys think. Of course, let me know in the comment section down below. I apologise for the language earlier. I believe I did let off one of the bombs, so apologies if you're still watching. But yeah, thank you very much for sticking around. And of course, you can check out the Alt Proto AMX tomorrow, because I will be uploading a full video on that. But other than that, I hope you do have a fantastic rest of your day. And of course, I am on holiday, so yeah. If I don't respond to any comments, or at least a minute amount, then yeah, it's because I am on holiday, and I apologise. But thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.